This presentation is about Mozart and Beethoven and the classical era of music and how they are known as legends for what they've done in classical music, and that everybody looks up to them even today, so many centuries after they've died, that people still know them around the world even though they're dead. That these two writers of art did so much to the classical music and showed people that there was more to music than what they were listening to. Mozart and Beethoven both grew up in Austria. Mozart was older than Beethoven, and later, when Mozart starts composing, Beethoven actually plays for Mozart. And Mozart is actually one of Beethoven's reason that he starts composing and writing music differently than anybody else in the classical era. While Mozart grew up a different lifestyle as Beethoven and was at a younger age was a lot more talented than Beethoven, Mozart at the age of 5 composed music all around different places because his dad knew that he had a musical talent and showed people in different places that his son was great, which helped him later down the road of how he was well known throughout all of Austria and different places because at a younger age he traveled and composed such a young age, and the fact that when he started to write his own music, he was already known for composing at the age of 5 and so on, that people already knew his name and weren't surprised that he was going to be such a well known artist and music writer. And while Mozart knew, even though Mozart was older than Beethoven and Beethoven played for Mozart at one point, Beethoven was known greater than Mozart, not as his writing or his composing, but his music. He changed the entire classical era because how he wrote. He broke all the rules about classical music, which shows that Beethoven was not the type of person that followed the rules in writing music, but yet he went the extra mile of showing that there's more to music than what people were listening to at the time. And the fact that Beethoven, when he got older, started to become deaf and yet still composed and wrote such good music, it shows that even though somebody that cannot hear, that is deaf, doesn't care about how people think of them, that doing something that you love will not stop you at all. That writing music was something that he loved, and the fact that somebody could be completely deaf and still write and compose music shows that nothing can get in anybody's way. And Beethoven later seen that, and he ended up stopped composing because he got embarrassed about at the end of a song or composing, he wasn't able to hear the audience clapping, and somebody had to turn around and show him that they were clapping, the audience was clapping for him. And this is what caused Beethoven to stop composing. Yet it did not stop him from writing. He wrote, if I believe, 3 more. To this day, people still listen to Mozart and Beethoven. And even though people try to play or write classical music today, they still have to put in consideration that they have to beat Mozart and Beethoven's music. Not the fact that they have to beat it, but they have to write music or play music just as well as they did to be seen as a person that is a legend in the classical music era or classical music period. That Mozart and Beethoven both were is part of that legend. That they are two of the most well-known classical music artists and composers because their art. That their art was such widely known around the world. Even today, there's so many people that know Mozart and Beethoven, know their music, and know how well of composers and playwrights, but music, how well they were at music.